Welcome everybody to the Broken Wing Racing League, the GT3 Sprint Championship, Season 10, Round 5 at Virginia International Raceway, or otherwise known as VIR. We have about 10 minutes left in free practice, and we'll get on board so I can have a look here. Trey Mistack is leading practice with a 144.5. Just over Christopher Daniel by 0.120 tenths, separating them. But good haul for the Pax Oceani team. Christopher Daniel, who is in the purple team, and he's joined by John Javecki, who's in P13. They're sitting P2 in the or P3 in the team championship. Christopher Daniel and John Javecki. And then just behind him, J.D. Daniel, who's sitting in 5th with Matthew Baldwin. And the Pax Oceani Green team hasn't been present that much. They're in P15 right now, but they'll give it their all. Interesting to note here is Peter Flanner, who set the 3rd fastest time in practice. Actually, fourth fastest time, I should say. He's sitting P2 in the Pro Championship. Jacob Simmons is ahead of him, but Jacob Simmons is also in P9 in practice. So Jacob Simmons and Peter Flanner are separated on net points by roughly 30 points. So this being the IMSA scoring, it's gonna be a really bad blow for Jacob Simmons if he doesn't haul in some good points and tries to. He's gonna have the net stay ahead of Peter Flanner or finish just behind him. So it's a lot of ground that Jacob Simmons is gonna have to crawl out of this one. Thanks, Jeff Lubitsch, for the 1 bit, and let's go Pax MDJ Groves. Yeah. Let's see them do well here. All the way down, so we have only a few drivers in the 144s. P1 through 6 in the 144s, followed by P7, onward to P25. They are in the 145s, followed by P27, all the way down to P38 are in the 146s, and from the 146s, it really is consistent in the 147s. Just a few people are outside of the 147 range. Let's say 5 drivers right now. And then we have Austin McGill and Michael Nash, who have not set a time on the board. As I'll scroll there, you can see. I don't think Peter Cheney's lap is reflective of his skill level. More or less, it's kind of stayed on track. Maybe had an off track or something. No, it wouldn't have counted if it was an off track. But we're almost go. 6 minutes to go here. I'll pull the trackers up. And this driver is also not. This driver not out there on track. The city driver out on track? Not that driver. Is this driver on track? Not that driver. You know what? Let me just cycle through to see who's actually out there on track. Oh, here we go. Kevin Millard. Who is Kevin R. Millard, I should say. I don't know if that's right, but sitting P31 right now. It's on an out lap, so he hasn't actually set a time on the board. He set one previously, which put him in the net of that. And you can see on the grass there, someone went lawn mowing. Kevin Millard's new. He's definitely new to the grid. It's always nice to see new people. Also new people that I haven't seen before. I think Peter Cheney was one of them. Peter Cheney, definitely new. I haven't seen this name before. And then Dakota Dakota Manez? Someone had a better way to say this, and I can't even recall exactly how it was pronounced. But here we got another driver who's joining us. And, you know, in the chat, someone said to wreck this guy, so maybe we'll see that happen. Not intentionally, I hope, but you never know. This is Tyler Tier, who is sitting in the championship. I'm not even sure where's that. Tyler Tier has not made any points in the pro class thus far. I don't think he hasn't appeared to be in any of the races thus far, and if he has, he hasn't scored any points in them. Being outside the top 30, I guess, would be that descriptor for him. So we do have a driver who's not on track, but is leading the AM class championship. That's Rodrigo Theory. He scored a pretty good amount of points, 637. He's essentially 130 points ahead of P2 in that championship. That's Craig Brick, and then Tyler Kern. Let's see if Tyler Kern is even here. Tyler Kern is here. He's in the pit lane right at the moment, but he's in P2 or P3. So still a good battle out for those drivers. And, you know, I keep clicking people that should be out on track, but they're not. Okay, well, he's sort of not on track. Well, is he on track? We got 3 minutes and 22 seconds to go before qualifying starts. John Javecki. He is down into P7 in the Pro Championship. He's got Mark Foley ahead of him. JD Daniel also ahead of him. And JD Daniel is in the Pax Oceani purple team. Or blue team, I should say. Draft Punk Racing might take the win for this team championship, as Jacob Simmons has said before, time and time again, his teammate Chris Lambeth has, you know, failed to show his his ability to show up for these races. Weddings aside, you have sim racing to do. Ooh, this John Javecki has a little spin there. Ooh, he even puts it right back into the tire barrier. All right, let's go. It's Tyler Tier, Justin Scott. It looked almost like he was flashing a little bit. This one could be interesting. I have Dylan Maroney and Eric Koonsman. Let's see where they're at. Doesn't show it. Oh, this one has it. Eric Koonsman, who went off track. Let's say he went more than off track. That is far out there. Andrew Forstecki, another driver who found the track limits somewhere. It really doesn't look like he found the limits there. Oh, there it is. It's parking it. And Dylan Maroney, who's sitting P22 right now with a 145.883. That's his best. And honestly, if you really want to get into the top 10, just do a 145 even. Nicholas Mazza is the one driver in the top 10, or not should have one. He's the first driver in the top 10 that's in the 145s, or the 145.077, as we have 13 seconds left on practice, and we're going to be going into qualifying. Nicholas Mazza, who I believe is on a team. Could be wrong. He's not on a team. Not this time. I believe last season he was on a team with somebody. And that shuddering noise was the sound of a driver going off track, I believe. Yeah, you could even see the smoke clearing. And Noah, you think there's a Peter Flanner win incoming? We'll see. So I'll make my way through the field of drivers that are out there on track. Peter Flanner is third. Jeff Koffel is second. Andrew Korstecki is going to be the driver that takes us on our first flying lap here at VIR in the Chevrolet Corvette. And out of all drivers on the grid, there's over 40, I think 44, 45 drivers that have registered for this race. It's great that all 40-something of them decided not to run the Ford Mustang. That would be very confusing for the commentator to do such a thing. So now I only have to think about one American car out there. And thanks C.H. Webby for the follow. It's going to be very technical through the roller coaster and onto Hog Bend. That front straight, the start straight finish, I should say. That's a very difficult one because what is a straight? You're mostly turning right on that straight. Jeff, just behind by 0.9, almost a second. Kind of confused. That was... I guess we're seeing times on the board, but that was their out lap. What bizarre. I guess, I mean, what do you say? Everybody's logging in a lap right now, but this is their first flying lap. I guess the software is stating that that is indeed a lap. So I guess I wouldn't look at the scoreboard just yet. Andrew Korstecki is the first driver that will set us on the course to see who goes fastest. He crosses the line. He's gonna have a 145. Just waiting on confirmation there. A 145.5 as Jeff does go faster with the 145.3. And there goes Peter Flanner across the line with a 144.9. Christopher Daniel crosses the line into P3. Now the shakeup is really going to happen. JD Daniels leading us with the 144.8. Who can contend with him? It's not going to be Trey Missak, who's set the fastest time, but is in the pit lane as he's really trying to get that last of first victory at one point in the season. There's Eric Palacio in P3, the 145-1. And thank you, Uncle Tito14, for the follow. And the shuffle is really in. Craig Carroll with a 146. He's in P15 right now. It looks like Rodrigo Theory, the AM class leader, is the fastest AM driver out there right now. Doesn't look like anyone's passing him up on that one. Jacob Simmons is actually, what an impressive run for him. He's got a 145-2, but it's really down to Peter Flannery here. What can he do with only Hogpen to contend with? Can he go faster than JD Daniel and retake provisional pole? And I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, and there it is. The fastest lap goes to him by 0.2 over him. We have Eric Molinetti. Man, that was hooked on phonics style. Eric Molinetti to P4. New driver in the series, I would say. I've never had to say this name. Michael Nash just behind him. Eric Mossy also right there in the backfield. As Jeff Lubitsch is right there on the back end of that Camel Dart Racing. I believe he's in the Camel Dart Racing. Yep, I'm right. In all my infinite wisdom. With 3 minutes and 42 seconds to go, could Eric Molinetti go faster? Sitting P4. And we have drivers that are exiting the pit lane at this moment. Eric goes through. We'll see if he is able to shake up a new lap here. Nothing yet from him. Mark Foley, the other driver at Campbell Dart Racing, he's sitting P10 right now. Looks like he took a little of the grass there on exit. And that is Peter Cheney, who let him by before the S's. Very respectful to do so, and looking, he's letting other drivers by as well. He is on an out lap, but so is Mark Foley. JD Daniels still sitting in P2, Jacob Simmons in P3. He's up 2 positions from previously. He was P5. Eric Molinati. Molinati? I don't think it's that. Molinati, like Natty Ice. Oh, probably not. Jeff Koffel to P6, overtaking Christopher Daniel and Elliott Burton. Elliott Burton is sitting P3 in the Pro Championship. Christopher Daniel is just behind him in P4. JD Daniel is behind Christopher Daniel in P5. Mark Foley in P6 in that championship. So a lot of the Pax Oceani drivers up there in the top of the pro status, the bracket for the standings. Elliott Burton's going to have to keep ahead of Christopher Daniel if he wants to keep his position. They are separated by 13 points on the net points right now. So there is a drop week for sure, but that is still very close for Elliott Burton to hold P3 thus far. As if you look further up, he's about 200 points difference to his teammate Peter Flanner of Draft Punk Racing. Mark Foley is down to P12. This is a lap he needs. He's got 1 minute left. He's got to cross the line and go quicker than his previous. He did a 145.454. Is it possible for him to improve his time? Peter Flanner still unchallenged after a few laps, retaking the top step from JD Daniel. No driver in the top 15 has made inroads at this time. Justin Scott rounding it out there. Rodrigo Fury was P15 for a while. Eric Palacio goes to P2 with his time on the board with 144.821. Jeff Koffel with a P6. JD Daniel overtakes Eric Palacio for P2. And he's just 0.005 difference to Peter Flanner. And that has got to feel good for Peter Flanner. He's able to keep it ahead for now. There's still some drivers out there on track that could contend with that time. Now with this 2-minute and 27-second countdown is for the drivers still out there. Mark Foley, did he go faster? Not entirely sure. We'll switch. He goes up one position, overtaking Nicholas Mazza. Jacob Simmons, here's a driver we are looking to see what he can do. The only driver committed to the Beans team right now that's here with us on track. His teammate off doing important things. And can Jacob Simmons put himself on the front row, possibly even P1? It looks like Eric Palacio is still out there. Peter Flanner is still out there. JD Daniel is still out there. And so the top four are still trying to make inroads here, as we have other drivers on the grid that have already stopped. We have about 10 drivers, I would say 9 drivers, that have not set a time on the board. Tyler Anderson is serving a qualifying ban. Eric Palacio just takes the fastest lap with 144.747. That is 0.022 ahead of Peter Flanner. JD Daniel sets the fastest lap, and he goes quickest overall, overtaking Eric Palacio across the line. Now what can Jacob Simmons do? I think that is it for Peter Flanner. He is done. Jacob Simmons crosses the line, and nothing changes. That is the starting order. Oh, what a fantastic end for JD Daniel to get across the line. Takes provisional pole with Eric Molinetti in P5, Jeff Koffel in P6, Elliot Burton in 7, Christopher Daniel in 8, Christopher Chittling in 9, Eric Nivel in 10, Tyler Tier in 11, Mark Foley in 12, Nicholas Mazza 13, John Javecki in 14, Andrew Korostecki in 15, Ryan Bird in 16, Rafael Santos in 17, Justin Scott in 18, A.A. Smith in 19, Rodrigo Theory in 20, Craig Carroll in 21, Tyler Kern in 22, Eric Kunzman in 23, Charles Reed in 24, Chris Lambeth is in 25, Kyle Howe in 26, Cooper McCoy in 27, Dylan Maroney in 28, Eric Rodriguez in 29, Steve McAllister in 30, Kevin R. Mallard in 31, Kirk Mossy in 32. Just getting ready here. Jeff Lubish in 33, Matthew Baldwin in 34, Peter Cheney in 35, Garen Hahn in 36, Dakota Maniz in 37, Michael Nash in 38, Scott Weber in 39, Nicholas DeVille in 40, followed by Austin McGill in 41, Tyler Anderson 42, Trey Mistak 43, Dean Diltz in 44, Logan Brakey in 45, Noah Hodgkinson 47 or 46, Gareth Hammond 47, Tyler Rice in 48. These drivers did not set a time on the board, so they were auto shuffled. There's the system for the shuffle, and we will be going shortly. Here's JD Daniel on the front row with Eric Palacio. Peter Flanner and Jacob Simmons fighting it out for the pro. Fighting it out for the P1 in the overall and the pro class standings. Jacob Simmons is ahead, but just barely. Now he's got Peter Flanner right there alongside him at the start of this race. JD is VIR's biggest fan, so this makes sense. Well, hopefully it pans out for him. So we're about to go green. Safety car is in. Eric Palacio has got the run on the inside line. Is he going to be able to take P1 away from JD Daniel here? Sorry, he's got the outside line. JD Daniel's got the inside line. He's actually showing blue. And there goes Eric Palacio. Looks like he's a little squirrely on the exit there. And Peter Flanner's going to stay ahead of Jacob Simmons for now. And further back, everything still looks like a good snake. No issues. Whoa! Peter Flanner, aye. There are drivers all over the place there. Ooh. There goes your Peter prediction. There goes a lot. We'll go further back. There's a driver ahead who's letting people by. It's definitely got a slowdown penalty. As Rafael Santos in the pink Porsche. Rodrigo Theory, I think, is going to be able to get in on the entry here. They go almost side by side. They're going to continue this fight. And Rodrigo Theory goes through. JD Daniel still leading us here in P1, just behind Eric Palacio, Jacob Simmons, Erica Molinetti, Let me go with Molinetti. Christopher Daniel tries to swing it on the inside line, and he gets ahead for P4. That's up 4 positions at the start of this race for Christopher Daniel. And that is now an addition you can see on the relative. It's the far right. And an unfortunate break there for Peter Flanner. It's going to really cost him in the Drivers' Championship there. And also in the Team Championship with the other team that they're facing, which is the one that Jacob Simmons is on. We go over to Rafael Santos, who's trying to swing it on the outside line on Rodrigo Theory, and is almost alongside of him, but no pass just yet. Tyler Curtis in the background there. That is a really good battle that we have on our hands. Tyler Curtis P3 in the championship. Rodrigo Theory is P1 in the AM championship. They're not separated by that many points, just over 100. So any haul in P17, 16, where they're fighting for, is a good fight for points. Dylan Maroney up 7 positions already. Oh, there's Mark Foley. Boom. It's like magic. The cameraman snapping away and coming back at it. There's Elliot Burton in P7. It looks like he's close to Jeff Kaufhold, but not quite. If we go further back, Go to Eddie A. Smith. He has not changed positions, but what we have seen is Dylan Maroney, as Noah pointed out, is up 7 positions. Driver ahead. Oh. It's just getting a little odd right now. That's going to change. It's a big shakeup. Just like in Formula One, here, the leaderboard does not like it when you go to the middle of the group here. Charles Whedon on the outside in that Porsche. That's Eddie A. Smith in the Audi just ahead. And there's Kyle Howe in that Ferrari on the outside of Dylan Maroney. He's sitting in the red, or I guess the maroon Corvette. And nothing happening just yet. But this tight grouping, and that's actually probably more likely the case now, as there is 12 positions gained for Dylan Maroney. All of these drivers probably now are showing the accurate assessment of what's going on. The actual leaderboard on the left, not really consistent at this moment in time. That's better. On board with Eric Neville. Neville? He's got Jeff Koffeld ahead of him. Elliot Burton's made up 1 position up from the start of this race. Not a whole lot of change in the top 10. As you can see, Tyler Tears up 1. Christopher Chittiling is where he started. 1 gain, 1 loss in P6 and 7, and Christopher Daniel and I guess and Jacob Simmons would be the other drivers there. That made spots change. That sounded weird. Alright, up to Eric Palacio, who's only 4/10 separated off of JD Daniel. What can Eric do here? So they go through a couple technical lefts and then onto the hog pen to start straight finish. It is a Ferrari versus Porsche. And you gotta give it to the Ferrari in the straight line, so he's making a lot of time before the braking zone, but not enough to put himself fully alongside. But still a battle on our hands, and you can see Jacob Simmons and Christopher Daniel also in the same position. They are also in a little bit of a battle themselves. A little bit of a squirrely on that curbing there for Jacob Simmons. And just behind, really is slotting in, is Erica Molinati and Elliot Burton right there in the background. And even further back, we got 2 drivers looking to join them, and that is Mark Foley and Tyler Tier. It's that 3-way battle with Christopher Chittiling, Eric Neville. And as I say that, there goes Jeff Koffeld. Looks like he's going to have a go here. Chris Chitterling. Jeff in the Ferrari, down 3 positions now. Christopher Chitterling gets ahead. And you know what? I didn't even recognize this, but that's another Pax Oceani livery. Oh, it's positive. Elliot Burton. Sitting in P6, can he make a move here on Erica Molinati? Looks like he has it down into the braking zone. Perfectly placed, and he's ahead. That's another position gained for Elliot Burton. Unfortunate for his teammate. I don't think the door's quite shut here. Eric Molinati is only 2/10, 3/10 separated here. Nice little gap formed. Rafael Santos has been giving Rodrigo Thierry a run for his money. After he passed him, this driver is stuck to him like glue. I've been looking in the background on is Palacio Pax. Dylan Money is up 7 positions. It's showing P18 onwards in pits. Is that true? I'm not sure. The software doesn't like it can't track everybody, and I think that's partially what is happening. Is the scoreboard doesn't like it. The horizontal standings is more accurately depicted. Eric Palacio still down 2/10, and you know it's odd. We've seen the Corvette on the straight line really doing well. Ferrari's also another one that does so. He just can't reel him in just quick enough on that final entry there. Eric Palacio is Pax Oceani Blue, but it's not part of the Pax Oceani Blue team. JD Daniel and Matthew Baldwin are the Pax Oceani Blue. Eric Palacio, he's just got a regular livery, I would say. An SRT something. But there is another driver that was out there that is sporting the Pax Oceani livery. And that is the driver ahead of Christopher Chitterling right now. Christopher Chitterling is in this green and white Porsche. Just ahead of him is Eric Neville, and he is in a Pax Oceani livery. The purple livery. Alright. Here on the back straight. Is it finally time for Eric Palacio to get through? Not yet. He's getting ever so close though. He's finding his nose a little bit. Just sticking in just a little bit, but he's not quite there. Is this the time? He's 2/10 within the slipstream. He should be able to get by. It looks like JD Daniel is placing himself very strategically on the inside line. Means Eric Palacio is going to have to go for the long way around. Ooh, looks like he... Oh, and he's going to get ahead. That looked like a mistake by JD Daniel going wide on entry. But it's not over just yet. He's still almost got a nose in, but not quite. Looks like Eric Palacio is going to hold on to P1 at this moment in time for now. And Jacob Simmons holding out P3 over Christopher Daniel, Elliott Burton behind. And look here. Palacio isn't, yeah. I'd agree with that, Groves. But what? Oh, wait, Groves. That's probably it's probably the British driver, Jordan Groves. I got it. That is you. Who is this driver of Eric Neville? I don't know. He's sitting in P8, repping a Pax Oceani livery. That's difficult to say. Elliott Burton on the outside of Christopher Daniel, who's in the Pax Oceani purple team. They're almost going to go side by side. They are side by side. They're going to stick this out into the next couple of corners. That was the horseshoe, but now into the NASCAR bend. Where does it go? Not anywhere right now. Really backed out of that one. Eric Neville is a new recruit of ours, just joined iRacing a few weeks ago, having previously named ACC's quick. He's definitely quick. I mean, sitting in the top 10, taking the skills from ACC GT3 racing and bring them to iRacing GT3s. There is a slight difference. But I think it's translating really well. This is his first race. I believe so. This is his first race. This Eric Molinari in the BMW. Pretty strong. This is his first race as well. And he is definitely going to be attributed to the pro class. This driver is only lost one position from the start of this race. And it's to a driver who we could argue is one of the top 10 fastest drivers in the Pro Touring Racing League for the GT3 series. Elliott Burton only up 2 positions. It really goes to show you the strength of field between these guys that are up there, that are fighting. Over to Rodrigo Thierry, who still has not got ahead of Justin Scott. Rafael Santos, 0.2 difference between these two. And look at that. He goes for the move down the inside line. Almost cuts off right there, but slots back in. I guess it was a funny angle that we're seeing. Definitely wasn't really going for it. And honestly, the AM class leader of Rodrigo Thierry is definitely going to get promoted with the level of racecraft he's showing right now. He is comfortably ahead of his rival, Tyler Kern. And what it looked like it was a fight early on, with Eric Palacio, JD Daniel, but JD Daniel has not really responded after having been passed several laps ago. Well, you're going to start to see the pit stops shake up the order. As that was, I believe. Oh, we'll go over to Ryan Bird. He's sitting in P13 right now. Ryan Bird. It's got a new name that I haven't seen before. He's down on the inside line of Andrew Korsecki, who goes. It just he nailed it down, right? I mean, right into that corner. It's a perfect move. And that's 4 positions gained for him. And Tyler Kern, when I said he was comfortably ahead, I wasn't really actually sure here. But Rodrigo Thierry has gotten ahead of Justin Scott, who's sitting in that BMW, that Liquid Moly, which means to say that he's positioned 2 cars to his closest rival in the AM standings championship. Tyler Kern is in P3. Craig Brick, who's not here, is he's going to overtake him for that position in the standings. Christopher Daniel, still 0.2, 0.3 separated by Jacob Simmons, but not a single thing has happened between these two since they've been sitting in this position. Jacob Simmons inherited P3 when Peter Flanner it bended on the opening lap, and I did not look at the replay of that, but I'm not sure exactly what happened. But he went right into that tire barrier, and it collected another driver further down in the pack. I'm rooting for Scott Webber since this is his first race. They're all closing on the leaders, though. It's true. And now more than ever, Christopher Daniels is really getting closer and closer. Ooh, is that the move? It almost looked like he was going to try to make a move. And Scott Webber, I've seen the name, see where he's at. Scott Webber, P32. And we do have traffic already. And we'll go over to it. Here's Scott Webber. You're rooting for him. He's P31 at the moment. He's got Tyler Rice ahead of him, who's up 14 positions. 7 positions gained for Scott Webber here. And then just ahead is Justin Scott. Oh, what happened to Justin Scott? That is... He was right there in the upper top of the grid. He must have had a little bit of an oopsie. Ryan Bird into P12. John Javecki just ahead of him. Lap cars can make VIR even harder to navigate than it already is. Absolutely. We've seen that in a previous one. There's Ryan Bird going into the pit lane. And now Garen Hahn is the first driver to go into the pit lane to serve as mandatory pit stop. Craig Carroll was also a part of that group to also go into the pit lane to serve as mandatory pit stop. I guess we'll take a look over here at the top of the grid and see what they're going to do. The stint is 13 laps right now. Look at that. Whoa! And disaster strikes for the Draft Punk Racing, as that is the second driver in that team. And he is into the wall. Elliot Burton is back out there, down to P14, 7 positions lost. I'm trying to scroll through here. Here we go. It's the only angle we got, unfortunately. Just gonna pull that back slightly. He just got on the curbing and was loose, and it maybe looks like it did get magically put back on. There's no doubt about that. Chris Sherling is gonna stay out here, but we have drivers. Kevin Millard is the first driver in the top. I don't know. This isn't 37. Yeah, he's 36. Yeah, so he's one of the few drivers that has gone in the pit lane. We're gonna go back over to the top 10 here and see what's going on. Eric Palacios still ahead of JD Daniel. Looks like Elliott got loose and the other guy wasn't ready for it. I would agree. I would agree with that statement. It looked like it's I wouldn't go so far as to say it's an Austin Dillon maneuver, but something close like that. It's Christopher Chitterling defending the inside line over Eric Neville. I'm gonna get it right one of these times. Neville. More like an Austin centric. Going over to Christopher Daniel. That's lap traffic of Kyle Howe in P26. He's hanging along the inside line, but letting them pass. He did slow down in a way to let them both by. You know, in other news, Trey Mistack is only into P36. Driver set the fastest time in practice. Hasn't really progressed through this pre-traffic on this occasion. As we're on board with Christopher Daniel, lap after lap, we've seen these drivers. That's Dakota Manez. First race with us here at Brokering Racing League, GT3 Sprint Championship. Pretty impressive drive for him. He's up 16 positions into P21, 22 maybe at the moment. Can't really tell. It's 21. And there goes the Beans into the pit lane. Eric Palacio still holding it out in P1 over JD Daniel, is down by 6/10. Traffic is going to be a factor here. Christopher Chitterling, Eric Molinati, and Eric Neville, P4, 5, and 6, showing the same rough pace lap after lap. Not much has changed in the drive for these three. They're all up some positions. And through the snake they go. Not much is going to change here, but we have seen some change here. More at the start of this area than at the middle portion of it. And there's Kyle Howe. We've seen who is that? Tyler Rice. Yeah, I believe that's Tyler Rice. And that Ferrari. And Kyle Howe letting the drivers by. Well, he has lap traffic. All these drivers have not gone in the pit lane. And so he's gonna get by him again after they take a pit stop. Kyle Howe is on 2-lap stint right now, so he's gone in the pit lane. JD Daniel, Eric Palacio going into the pit lane. Now it's going to come down to Jacob Simmons, who is still in the back straight. And it really comes down to where is this driver going to shake up. We have JD Daniel still on. We have Eric Palacio still up there. Jacks are up. Actually, for Eric Palacio, he's no jacks. Where's that put Jacob Simmons? It looks like he's going to maybe lose out positions here. No, he is actually gonna be sporting out a a perfect run here. It says he's P5. There's one driver who has not pit. We have Eric Palacio out in P1, or technically P1. Christopher Daniel is in P3 at the moment. Basically P2. He's jumped JD Daniel. And Jacob Simmons is now back. I gotta say, that's Jacob Simmons. His move did not help him on the undercut, as now he has two Paxiocianis, the blue and purple, ahead of him, and these drivers are going to be very fair with each other, not racing each other too hard. And we've seen this out of the Paxiociani blue, purple, and green. That was a hell of a pit cycle for Christopher. Hope he didn't speed like that at Nürburgring. Who's going to come out on top? It's gonna be an interesting one. We have Trey Mistak, who finally got to P1. You know, they say his domination would be boring, and here he is, dominating P1. Only briefly, as he has gone in the pit lane, and Eric Palacio now retakes P1. Christopher Daniel, 4/10 ahead, and I think we're going to see it this way. Whatever JD Daniel makes up for in the corners, the straight line speed right now of this Corvette has shown itself, even when the Ferrari has not. The Ferrari struggling to get by even a Porsche on the straight line. He hasn't really, that I've seen. Not the same case. If anything, Christopher Daniel is just giving a toe to JD Daniel. No relation. Brothers from another mother's. They're just gonna run away from Jacob Simmons. It's no contest here. Look at the toe that he's getting, and also just the almost like a push. The relative difference here is significant. Jacob Simmons is kind of falling off the pace of these two. And there goes JD Daniel through on Christopher Daniel. I'm going to have to go and guess that they are in conversation with each other on who should go by and why. And does he think he has the pace? And that is a driver of Tyler Rice off into the right side. That looked pretty weird, as he's still out there on track. I don't know what to say to that. Christopher Chitterling here, Chris Chitterling, down on the inside line of Erica Molinati, and he looks like he's gonna have him. They almost come together there, but that is some very close but fine racing through the first corner of Horseshoe. And they're going to keep it together through NASCAR Bend. That is still side by side. And even further. Ooh! I don't know about that. I think they came together. Looked like that right rear. But he has it down. Looks like Chris thinks JD is quicker. That could be it. I've had conversations with them. Oh. And there is a better sense of how they talk to each other. Let him by. He is quicker. I'll let him by. That sort of thing. I think it's all fairly even between the two of them. But we can see that toe is still working. Jacob Simmons is down 1.4 seconds to Christopher Daniel. This could be the kind of maneuver you want to help a sister team push their way to get to P1. Eric Palacio is actually holding it pretty steady, though. 1.3 seconds difference there. And with lack traffic, Tyler Rice letting him by. Schitterling going down the inside line again. And this time he's... Ooh! He definitely came together that time. Should be the last ad break of the night. Oh, there's an ad break. Look at those things, yeah. Now that is interesting. Before we got to the Snake S's there, Christopher Daniel got ahead of JD Daniel. Maybe it was, let me see what I can do in the open air. And he has now retaken his spot over JD Daniel. Maybe JD thinks this is quicker. Their last lap was actually not that much, that wasn't different. They were separated by 0.05 of a second. Try to do the math on that one, or not the math, but like the mental image of that. It's a 0.205 and a 0.113 difference between the two. You can't see it on that last lap. I don't know why it's showing that. Oh, that was... Yeah. Am I looking at the right thing here? Yeah, I am. So when Christopher Daniel did... Oh, okay, now everything's changing up here. Go Scott Webber. We'll see. Chris Schitterling and Eric Molinati still going at it here. Lap after lap. They did come together, and look at that. He was deep on the brakes, and into the corner he went, and Eric Molinati retakes the spot. And this battle for P5 is still out there. We got 5 laps to go, and they have not let up. Go over to Scott Webber here. It'll take a second. He's sitting in P31. Cooper McCoy, 8 seconds up on him, 8.2. Peter Cheney is in 5 seconds back. My driver's in a league of his own right now, because he's got some space, some distance to deal with these guys. So we have Austin McGill and Tyler Anderson up 20 positions and 18 positions off the start of this race. They're in the 21 or 20 and... It's going to change in a second. 19, 18? We'll shift. Hey, they're even up more positions. I'm not even sure. They're in P19 and 20, 18 and 20, 17. This thing keeps changing on me, and I don't like it. They're somewhere on this grid. And either or, 25 positions gained is slightly impressive. Go over to Elliot Burton. We're sitting in am I confused? There it goes. This score tracker is got some issues. Eric Palacio is ahead right now in P1. I was looking at the score. I should have just been looking at my tracker. He's ahead still, 1.6 seconds up on Christopher Daniel. The last lap for Christopher Daniel was just actually 1/10 faster than Eric Palacio and JD Daniel. So somewhere he thinks he has the pace to get by him. Jacob Simmons has not made inroads on these two ahead of him, the Pax Oceani blue and purple, which completely, I mean, from my understanding and honest opinion here, he's got a good run. He could be nabbing a P4 finish in the in this race. Peter Flanner his closest rival out on lap 1, Elliott Burton, thrown into a barrier after a little unsquirrely exit before the snake started there. You know, that tire squiggly section. He's P3 in the championship, but Elliott Burton right now, he's somewhere back. I can't even see where he's at. He's P27. And it looks like did Peter Flanner leave? I think Peter Flanner is left the session. Still show him somewhere. Yeah, I'm gonna say that it is. Nowhere to be found. Got lost in that tangent, but basically what I was trying to say here is that Jacob Simmons sitting in P4, going to pull some good points in the pro standings, which could propel him on the final race to maintaining a net win in the pro standings of the GT3 championship, which also, because both drivers of the Draft Punk Racing have both been taken out, not say that word, but both had incidents that have dropped them out of the strong standings, we could see the one-time world champion Bush's Baked Beans with Lambdoc Duke Memorial Race Team, presented by the one-time world champion Bush's Baked Beans with Lambdoc Duke Memorial Race Team, become the two-time champions, as Eric Molinati is defensive on the inside line there in Horseshoe over Chris Chitterling. The battle for P6, P5 is not over, folks. So not only has this race really affected the Draft Punk Racing team and their standings within the pro, the individual standings, Jacob Simmons might not be winning this race, but with 3 laps to go, he's winning in his heart. Christopher's within a second of the lead. But he is. He's 0.914. These two have banged doors. They've come together. Right now, the BMW of Eric Molinati is ahead. This is his first race here at the Broken Ring Racing League GT3 Spin Championship. And they still have 3 laps to go, but Chris Chitterling is not going to relent. Lap after lap, these two are really close. In pace, determination, Christopher Daniels sets the fastest lap right now. That would be funny. GT3 cars would be hilarious if they VRS. I'd say so. And look at that. I mean, not giving up. Christopher Chitterling is really just adhering to the bumper of that BMW. You don't make a pass here, but it's great to follow along, really maximize. Whoa! And And that battle for P5 is lost. And there goes Christopher Chitterling rejoining the track. Hopefully he doesn't have a massive slowdown penalty. He's going to join in P10. So down one position from the start where he started this race, and that is unfortunate for him. Jeff Koffold, who is sitting in P6, is probably saying, we take those. He has inherited back his original position. Eric Molinati, his position stays intact. I missed what happened. Let me just take a look here. It's hard to... can I see? People are making so many things happen wrong that it's hard to scroll through this list of people doing things. I can't find it. Noah, basically, Christopher Chitterling lost it as they were going up the hill through just before South Bend, turn 10, you know, before you're just on the top of that hill. On the crescent, he loses the rear, goes into the infield, rejoins before Oak Tree, down 10 position, or down into 10th. I'm going to change the event status so I can see only the incidents and off tracks, because it's showing all sorts of different passes that aren't really happening right now. JD Daniel in P3 got Christopher Daniel ahead of him. They are now joined with the race lead. Jordan Groves, I think we can definitively say that Christopher Daniel thinks he is the fastest driver there, as he is caught up. This race is over, though. Across the line they are going. And Eric Palacio might take P1, or definitely he's going to be taking P1. And there he goes. P1 to him. P2 to Christopher Daniel. JD Daniel finishes P3. Jacob Simmons in P4. Eric Molinati is going to hold it out for P5. Jeff Koffold is going to take P6. Mark Foley in P7, Eric Neville in 8, John Javecki, welcome to the league, Eric Neville finishing P8 in the top 10, John Javecki in P9, Pax Oceani Purple, Christopher Chitterling in P10, Trey Mistak in P11. That is 32 positions gained for Trey Mistak. That's a big haul. Andrew Korstecki in P12, Rafael Santos in Ryan Bird in P13, Rafael Santos in 14, Justin Scott in 15, Rodrigo Theory in 16, Dylan Maroney in 17, Chris Lambeth in 18, Eddie A. Smith in 19, Tyler Kern in 20, Tyler Anderson 21, Kurt Mossy in the P23. Now I can't even tell who's who. That's Eric Rodriguez in 24. We'll just, where does Mark Webber finish? He finishes in... Not done with the race yet. And he's going to cross the line and take P30. He had a good gap to the drivers ahead of him and behind him. So, was always going to hold that one in. There's Nicholas Mazza in 31. Dakota Monins? He is going to finish in P32, his first race with the Brokering Racing League. And Karen Hahn in 33. Is anyone still out there on track? John Javecki in P9, who's going to go for his little lap around. And I'm going to pull this up so we can get the actual results for everybody. While I wait for, we'll go with Eric Palacio.
Great racing.
Eric Palacio, thank you for joining me. What a race! What a race finish! Congratulations for P1, and also, I mean, just what a what a performance! You're able to get past. I think it's Christopher Daniel or JD Daniel, one of the Daniels. They both look alike almost, except one's in purple, one's in blue. But you got past the driver, you got ahead, and then was it all easy going for you after that?
Well, I mean, early on with JD, it was tough. I kind of wanted to get a gap and just save fuel as much fuel as possible, and then finally got an opportunity to make a pass on him. And I think that helped out with that fuel saving on the pit stop because I was able to get a nice gap there. But towards the end, I was getting kind of worried with Chris closing in. I think we had, I forgot who it was. It was one of the top guys that was lapped, that was battling with us, and I kind of got spooked at the end, but was able to kind of hold it. But great racing.
I mean, fantastic finish. Your pit stop looked pretty well in hand. Did you have any issues there?
No, it was pretty, like I said, well rehearsed. I think the officials and doing some endurance racing this past weekend definitely helped prepare and getting that fuel number just dialed in. But yeah, it was everything I could ask for.
Well, I mean, congratulations. It looked pretty easy. It didn't even look like you had any issues with the lap traffic. Um, is there anything you saw in the opening lap that you felt uneasy about? Because there was some carnage behind you. Were you even looking in your rear view before you got to the snake? Before you got to all the S's itself?
I saw coming out of the snake that one car went flying. And I just said, "Okay, head down. We're gonna keep trying to get a big gap as possible." So I have no idea. I have to look later and see what carnage that was. But it was good start and just tucked in and let's get going.
Well, congratulations. Thank you for joining me, and great win. Were you even here for the rounds previous? Because I don't see any points gained in the sprint standings.
I joined for the first one, and I had a power outage that took me out before the race
Hmm.
started there. And then I did do Lamaze last week, so
Okay.
popping in and out. But yeah, it was like this got great league, great racing, and glad to be here. Thanks for the stream as well.
Yep. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Take care.
Now I'm just going to interview both of you at the same time. The Daniel brothers. Just kidding. You guys aren't brothers. But finishing P2, P3, Christopher Daniel, JD Daniel, fantastic result. I mean, Pax Oceani purple and blue finish. Not, teammates, but sister teammates is good enough. What happened there? Was it JD when you got passed by Eric Palacio? What was going through your head there?
He did a really good move. He shaked and baked me. But
On turn one?
I tried to use it to save fuel because I wasn't able to save fuel from in front, because that's really hard to do. But I messed up my pit entry. I pulled up too short to the line, and then I pulled up too short to my pit box because I couldn't see it. But Eric was really fast the whole race, and I'm disappointed he didn't get a shot to get at him at the end. But it was a really solid race for our whole team. Thanks to everybody at Pax Oshani and everybody who makes it happen.
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic to see you guys through through everything that was happening. You guys were still maintaining some solid pace. I mean, question for both of you: what was going on when you guys swapped positions from one lap to the other towards the end? There, you guys swapped, and then Jordan Groves was in the chat and saying maybe this guy thinks he's faster or he's faster. Ultimately, Christopher Daniel stayed ahead. What was going on there?
Yeah, we were
just
headed.
Oh, you go ahead, Chris.
No, I was gonna say I was coming out of the oak tree turn, and I had a bad run, so I felt like JD had a lot more pace than I did in the first couple sectors. So I figured I would just sit back behind him and just help push him ahead and push him up to Eric. But I think he had some problems coming through the S's, but I'll let him speak.
Yeah, I had some issues in lower snake. I overheated my tires, and I just cared about catching Eric. I didn't care about which position we were in, so I didn't want to break our momentum because I wanted us to have at least a shot at him. But it didn't come to pass. But it's just good teamwork all around. And shout out to my teammate Matt Baldwin, who finished the race. Super challenging combo in the Ferrari, and he killed it.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like you guys had extreme pace. At one point, Jacob Simmons he tries to go for the undercut. It doesn't work. And then you two just look like you almost like in a NASCAR scenario, just pushing each other, not physically, but you guys just maintain this extreme pace, and you were able to pull away from Jacob Simmons. You're able to lean into P1. I mean, it was fantastic racing to watch right there.
Yeah, we're just having fun out here. It's a blast to run in this league, and just doing the whole teammate thing. It's just really fun. We have a good group of guys, and we add people here and there, and they're all great additions. So I couldn't be happier with it. And our pace is awesome. We put a ton of work into it, so it's just testament to what we do.
Yeah, and fantastic to see you guys are recruiting, because I mean, you put in another driver, Eric Neville, I think I might be butchering his last name there, but puts in first race here, top 10 finish, P8. I mean, that's got to feel great for you guys. Recruiting another driver, and I mean, all of you guys are fast, but it's pretty cool. I mean, we're going to see a Pax Oceania yellow team eventually.
Can't make any promises for anything. We're not aggressively expanding, just people we know from our sim racing journeys. Eric is coming from ACC, so brought him over for an iRacing League race, and he killed it. I knew he'd kill it.
Yeah, I mean, great race, great haul for points and everything. Wish you the best for you guys' team championship and as your individual champion as well. Thank you for joining me.
Yep, thank you. Thank you for the broadcast. You do an awesome job.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
And Eddie A. Smith, congratulations for the AM class win, finishing out there in P19. How was your race?
Well, it was scary as all get out. If I had to say so myself, I was super nervous the whole time. I just didn't want to run off the track. I felt like there were so many fast guys around me. I was just stressed out the whole time. So yeah, I was really happy. At one point, I had some track in front of me and behind me that I could just concentrate. But most of the race, I was a anxiety-filled mess. So
yeah, I mean, you had some really strong competition. You had Rafael Santos, who was battling it out with Rodrigo Theory, and it was what a result there. Like those two really pushing the boundaries there. I mean, you're P4 in the championship right now. I think with that result, I think it's going to really push you up ahead of at least one of those drivers. I know that Tyler Kern was also just behind you, and he's in P3. So we got a battle on our hands on the last round. Are you going to be able to join us for the last round?
oh yeah, I'm definitely going to be here. I'm having way too much fun. There's no way I would miss. So I'm excited. It's Mid Ohio is not my favorite track. I think it's where we're at, but I'm excited. I think it's going to be fun. I've really enjoyed this season, so I'm looking forward to trying to finish strong. I do want to say sorry to Charles Whedon. I did run into the back of him, and I just wanted to apologize publicly. I really feel terrible about that, so I just wanted to put that out there, man. I'm sorry to Charles.
Well, I mean, fantastic that you're able to acknowledge a move like that and apologize already. That's a great amount of humility to even apologize in general. Some people may not, but I mean, hey, that's great that you're able to acknowledge something like that. And I hope to see what shakes up with the remainder. That last one could put you on the podium steps for the championship in the AM class. So congratulations for this one, and I hope to see what you can do with the next one.
All right. Thanks to Peter Flanner and Elliot Burton for their help this week. It definitely made a huge difference. So thank them. And thank you, Jason.
Yeah. Well, good on them. Good on you. Hopefully they can help you out on the last one. Really put the screws to Tyler Kern and Rodrigo Theory there.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
All right. Cheers. And that's it. We'll be here next Sunday with the GT3 with the final round here for season 10. Didn't really tell you who or what finished towards back half there on P31, but I've cycled through this a couple of times. I hope you guys have seen. It's also there's a horizontal that's been changing through. It looks like Elliot Burton didn't finish well with a P34 finish, and Peter Flanner in P36. It's unfortunate. All these drivers, I think, kind of just put it in there. And thanks for watching. Appreciate everyone that was here for it, and hope you guys have a good evening. Bye.